5, 4, 3, 2. Dr. Powell, I was checking into the church's home at 5 o'clock. Yeah, just let me ask the questions down the panel. No, just hit the hangout thing that says you're going to do it to the phone, right? Yeah. If that's what you're doing on the phone, right? Yeah, so I'll just go on the text and just put that in the hangout. Show boxes. Can you move for a second? We're gonna be starting in a second right after this song. Okay. People starting to come in. Brother Lonzo, you can unmute yourself. You had some noise in the background, so we had to do a little damage control. Brother Lonzo. Zoe should be in any minute. I'm waiting on Chris. Haven't heard from Lonnie Green. Okay. So we'll be starting in a few seconds, everybody. So just hang tight. I gave you some time to come in. I know there's probably a whole bunch of stuff going on, so we'll see. You can unmute yourself, Mr. Williams, Lonzo. Can you unmute yourself?
I'm here. Can you
Oh,
hear
okay.
me?
Yes, now I can hear you. Okay, just checking. People are on their way. They're giving me notification that they're coming in. So anyhow, pretty much played my whole album. That was my rendition of just like Compton, Alonzo. Played that live. Yeah, but we got Lonnie. Oh, ooh, we got Lonnie Green here. But
Yes, I'm here.
Count Funkula.
How y'all doing?
All right, all right. If you want to do your avatar, I mean, an avatar, that's fine. Or if you just want to look live, that's fine too. You got a choice. You know, it's up to
Mm,
you. Because all we see
what
is
you
head
mean?
and nose. I said, if you want to do an avatar, like you know how you have, like, you see my James Brown, that's my avatar.
Oh,
If you want to just do that, I think it's the camera button. Yeah, where is that at? It's the camera button right next to the microphone.
no, not on mine. I just see this thing with your the James Brown thing flashing when you talk and a picture of me in the corner. That's all I see.
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah,
I'm just gonna have to be the voice in the dark.
okay. That's all good. So we got two more people coming through. I guess it gives more people enough time to get their vittles and whatever else. And
Okay.
we get started in a few seconds. You know, this is kind of good. Man, we got a Funketeer up in this bad boy. That's crazy. Okay.
Well,
People don't understand and Lonzo's here too. Lonzo Williams, he's here as well.
Lonzo on the line?
Yeah, he dropped off, but I think he's coming back because
Okay.
he probably was trying to talk and we probably couldn't hear him. So
Okay.
he's coming through. And Zoe Williams as well. He said he's trying to get on. I sent him the link. Maybe I need to resend the link. I don't.
Yeah, because I had forgot and came in here and turned on Perry Mason, picked up the phone. I said, "Oh man, it's eight after 8 o'clock." Yeah, I'm getting ready for a show this weekend, so everybody's calling me, asking me about the show. I'm like, we've been posting the show for a month, so it's going to be a pretty big deal here in Detroit on Saturday, and we headline in the Highland Park Music Festival, so a lot of people coming real far to check this out. It's going to be a good one.
Okay. Now you already reassembled Parlay, correct?
Paulette, yeah, well, that didn't my my manner of work is a little hard for people that's just living off the vapors. They don't want to put in the work. They want to live off the vapors of the past and not realize back then you were very young. Now
Yeah.
you're older and things have changed. So it's not saying that you have to change, but you have to at least be willing to put in the work and the effort that I have my band putting in to help you out. So when that effort wasn't met, and we had a show to do, I told him you aren't ready.
Mm.
And so the leader got upset with me and don't talk to me anymore. I was doing you a favor
Oh wow.
because she's in a position where nobody wants to deal with her.
Whoa.
And I was the one that reached out to help her because I know how it is, when nobody wants to help you. But at the same time, I'm the kind of person, just open up the door and I'll get it myself.
I understand.
And
Mhm.
so I really feel sad for that project is never going to get off it's never going to get off unless she does what told her she should do.
Now, just
And
to inform people, you came in the scene with Parliament. when they what did Glory Holla Stupid
Right.
and the other ones like the one with I'm gonna take my shoes off and Rumpelstiltskin.
Compilation. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Compilation.
People not knowing that.
Yes, I came in right at the final days when Thing Incorporated was getting ready to close its doors. I didn't know what I was walking into. I was hired to do a job. And the way I was taught music from, my years in Compton and the way I was taught music, and I came to Detroit, they wasn't doing things the way I was taught.
Okay. Email you. Now, okay, we got Chris Powell up in here from, he played with the Stone City Band and others. Thinks, wow. So we got some heavyweights in this bad boy. Whew. Man.
I know that name. I never met Mr. Powell, but I know that name.
Chris Powell, Lonnie Green, Chris Powell. Legend of legends.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, young man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little worn out, but I'm still punking around.
I know the feeling. I just did about 48. I'm too old to be doing this stuff, but I had no choice.
Man, I never knew that when you got as old as me, things would get as tough as they would do, but I'm still doing what I do.
I heard that, man. I'm telling you. But I guess as long as we can do it, we all right.
Right. So what are you still working with the band now?
No, I have a nonprofit program for talented kids, right? So over the last 4 years, I was an artist on Motown when I left Rick, so I created a nonprofit program based upon Motown. So we've had kids signed to Sony. Over the last 4 years, we've had kids on American Idol, Ellen DeGeneres, where else? The Voice here and in Brazil. So, yeah, it's basically Motown artist development.
Okay. So where are you located at in California?
No, Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, you're not that far from me. I'm in Detroit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm in Detroit.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's not far at all. It's a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yes, it is. So,
oh man, who do I remember from up that way? The twins, the attorneys, the girls.
No.
I can't think of their names. What about Kelvin? Oh, used to do. Oh my memory. Kelvin used to do radio promotion.
No, not really. I'm not from Detroit. I just live in Detroit. I'm from Compton, California. I'm from Compton.
Okay, and, all right.
I was hired to play with P-Funk back in '79.
Okay.
And, I've kind of branched off into doing my own thing. George have the P-Funk All-Stars.
Right.
I got the P-Funk Outlaws. So I took the studio musicians and started a band. The guys who actually do the work. The guys on the road don't record. They're just out there playing. We do the work. So that's how the band originally started.
Okay.
And like I said, I just broke off, started doing my own thing. And George mentioned that on one of the albums. Let the world know that, hey, Lonnie do his own funk. When he came in, he was doing his own funk. And I've always done that. So,
wow.
So I actually rub it in sometime and tell them, you guys are doing a Compton sound. I write the songs, you guys play them. So that's a Compton sound. It ain't a George sound.
No, I got you.
But that's just my little personal bragging rights. That's all.
I got you. So I can't remember. I lived in LA for so long. I know we know a lot of the same people. That's the whole thing. You from LA for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I'm part of this discussion right now. This is history making already.
And Cleve, I really appreciate this because now you can meet people. And this is networking.
Yo, what up?
Okay, let me see. Who's this?
This is Zoe Williams.
We got the Zoe Williams here. He look kind of grumpy, but he's here.
What's the deal?
the Gemini man there. So I guess I think Lonzo will come back because we're going to get started. We're going to do the introductions. You have Stone City Bander conversating with a trumpeter, or a funketeer. So they were just going back and forth about things. I'm like, wow. So it's crazy. Product of Rick James, and the other side, the product of George Clinton. So I'm like, all right. So thank
Whole lot
everybody.
of funk in the house.
Yeah, a lot of funk.
Oh yeah.
I want people to know, because people, unless Zoe can break it down, but he has a lot of history and music and background in music as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go around and ask, give us an introduction, and as far as music, what is your background in music? So who wants to start with that one?
I'll start. Make it real quick. Do you remember Norman Whitfield out there? Where you
Yes, I remember Norman.
Well,
I never met him, but I know who he is.
Okay, I left Ohio. I had a group that was called Nitro, so we did we had the kind of the black horn. That was us, and so we did a lot of the horn sections for a lot of Leon Haywood, a lot of stuff, and then Rick ended up taking our whole horn section. So that's how I went with Rick. I left Rick and got my own group on Motown, and then I just started producing other artists. So I work with everybody from one of Paul Abdul's first producers, Destiny's Child's first producers, Troop, all of that. And so I work with a lot of kids, and so that's how I ended up putting this nonprofit together for talented kids.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so
No, these are
is on here.
Yeah.
So
some legends on here, man. I was just an A&R executive, man, for Loud Records and Maverick Records, and did a lot of work with a lot of hip hop artists. So I'm here to learn from the legends.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Right.
I'm too old to blush, man. So. But my stint, it was a little different. I kind of had Cleve's job for a short minute. Band director in Compton High for a very short time.
Oh wow!
And I met Donnie Sterling from Long Beach, and he was with George Clinton, hired me as a drummer. I dropped everything and came to Detroit and started recording. And then when they found out I was a writer, Sly Stone was in the organization. He would let me go on the road. He like, no, keep Lonnie in the studio. He's writing. So that's what I did. My road tenure was very short. I didn't do a lot of road work, but I was in the studio a lot. And George is the one who named me Count Funkula. So he said it, and I just ran with it. So now people know me globally as Count Funkula.
Go ahead on.
I just make it work. I just, I'm a student of Grambling State University, and I did my music thing there, and I played with other people like Johnny Taylor, light work with Billy Preston. But the biggest thing is with Sly and George is what I did a lot of work with. So now I'm just working.
Sly and George? Good Lord.
Sly and George.
Man.
Wow.
And that was different right there. I'm going forever about that, but I will not do it today.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Oh my.
So I'm about to get Lonzo back on. He said he's trying to get in. What's going on with this hangout stuff, y'all? What's your email? Yeah, so the part that the most important thing that I had to get you guys together on is making sense of what we see today.
Okay.
We want to be able to find out, or actually, we want to find out if we're from outer space or we're just normal people. You know, based on the stuff that we're seeing today and the stuff that we witnessed back then, right? I've been I'm trying to be nice about it, but you know.
They on Jupiter. They on Jupiter.
Oh my God, man. But they need Jesus or something. But we
There's something going on, buddy.
so we're gonna dissect and peel the layers just a little bit to see what is going on. Let's see. Lonzo Williams will be here in a second. I have to give him his Gmail. And I'm glad that you guys broke down your backgrounds, because that's the part where people have to understand where you're coming from. You know, this is your expertise. This is what you've done and what you've seen. Just like I brought in some other people, you guys pretty much help shape and scope our growth in our, you know, we damn near learn how to dance based on the stuff that you've done.
Wow.
We even have, and then Zoe pretty much made the decisions on who can go. I mean, you know, come and go as far as being released. So he had those executive privileges. He's modest about it, but I know what he can do, especially if you mention A&R. Now we have Lonzo Williams. So Lonzo,
There go my partner. What's up, Zoe?
That people.
What's
That's
that?
FIFA.
What up,
yeah.
What's up, man?
So
man, that's good, man. Glad to see you on the call, Doc.
Man, I'm glad to be here, man. I didn't get a chance to tell everybody. That's the man who helped me when I came from Detroit, trying to work that P-Funk Outlaw stuff. Zoe was the one that gave me the rehearsal spot.
So we got the two.
wow.
We got the two Zoe. So we got Lonzo Williams and Zoe Williams on the same panel. So I think you guys met in passing, but you finally on the same panel. So hope you guys get a lot out of this meeting.
I've been trolling Zoe for a while, just keeping an eye on him when he was on Sirius FM, and now he's over there with my girl at Morris Media. I've been keeping an eye on you, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Making sure you represent the family name in the proper way.
Yes. So Lonzo, can you give us a little bit of a background on as far as your musical background, so people can understand where you're coming from when you're going to give your commentary on some of these questions?
Well, I've been in the music entertainment business for over 40 years, on 6 nightclubs, been DJing since I was 19 years old. DJ right now, but listen to music. I wrote hit songs, discovered hit acts. Was it broadcasting? I had a TV show for 15 years and ran on Compton. I've worked with some of everybody far as in the initial starting of their careers. And I'm doing it again, working with some new artists on some new stuff. I have a nonprofit that works with artists called the Lyrical Revolution. So trying to figure what else I got going. I mean, all that right there. I've been an expert witness in criminal cases on music. I do my own podcast as well on music. So I think that kind of covers it, don't it? Well, hey, we got to build on that nonprofit, because my program, I got a nonprofit out here too with kids.
Okay.
Oh yeah, music business too. So yeah, we're going to have to talk on that after this conversation.
You got it. Now, who was that?
My name is Chris Powell.
All right, Chris, how you doing there, Doc? Pleasure to meet you.
I'm good. My pleasure.
So, yeah. So we got some heavyweights here. So I can't wait to throw these questions out here. Wow. All right, it might be might have to be a part 2 after this. All right. Now the thing is, you know, the title is groups versus solo acts, and you guys are no stranger to the group thing. You know, whether it's bands or singing groups or whatever, male, female, and so on, or even mixtures. My question is, what were the benefits of assembling a music instrumental vocal group? What were the benefits?
Wow, that's a deep question.
Boy wants to dive in. The water's fine. He can jump right in.
For me, it was more of a we were already together as a DJ crew, and that was me, Dre, Yelling, Clientele. We all worked at Eve After Dark. I owned the club, and when I wanted to get into hip hop, I never considered myself a fantastic rapper, by no means. But I had the money, I had the I had the connection on the streets to sell records, and I just refused not to have the fun that they was going to have on the road. I just fuck that. I'm going to do this. So for me, I had to surround myself with people who had better skills. Clientele was a rapper, Dre was a producer, Yellow was a scratcher, and like I said, for me, I was like Harold Melvin. I was leading the group, but y'all didn't know it.
Okay, who else wants to grab this one?
Man.
Right. I'll just say I came out of Ohio in the 70s. So, we had the Ohio players, Isleys, OJs, Kool and the Gang, Slave, all of them. So we just in my city in Columbus, we just had all the different bands. Every high school had a band, and so I just kind of grew up in bands from that standpoint, and that's what was going on in Ohio. So from our standpoint, my band came out to LA, and so did Lakeside, and then so did Revelation Funk, which James Ingram came out of. So that's kind of how I look at when you talk about groups. I came from a band background, so that's my say on it. And again, I've been up for 48 hours, y'all. So if I sound a little crazy, gotta bear with me.
It's fine. I'm trying to reach the benefits too, because whether like something where somebody had your back, I mean, did the girls like it? Everybody like brothers, that kind of.
I think with the band, you can always share that whole thing. Ain't nobody. It's just like the young man was saying a minute ago. I kind of always surrounded myself with better players and better musicians, but I just kind of been better in terms of the business side of it. But being able, because I come up with horns, and because I was a horn player, so we had 3 horns, we had guitar players, keyboard players, all of that, singers, we did it all. So the thing is, when you come as a band, it was just, from my standpoint, we were together. We came to California as a band. It wasn't like we were unified. And so I think from my standpoint, I'm just saying that's what I would say the benefit from being in a band is.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris, your situation sounds a lot like mine. All my life, city of Compton was covered with bands. It was like every neighborhood had a band when I was coming up. And so it was just a natural thing to do, but I never really wanted to be a band. My early years at Enterprise Junior High, I wanted to be like a concert trumpetist until Zoe might remember the show Shindig.
Oh yeah! Oh, you're going back now. Oh my goodness!
When Shindig came on, I seen Sly Stone, and I said, "Mama, I want to be just like that man." And that's when I started. And I started my first little band. Well, I was in a band at Enterprise, and then they changed the district, and I went to Davis and started my band, and just kept going. And I had a mother. My mother would put you in commercials and everything. So I got some little spots on the TV show, that TV show Room 222. I was on that show. I was just a little fill-in in the classroom.
So you know Howie Davis. Right?
Of course.
That's one of my boys.
And matter of fact, Howard Rice, the one they call Richie.
Yeah, Howard Rice. That's what I meant. Howard Rice. My bad. Not Howard Davis. Howard Rice. That's what I mean. Guitar player.
Yeah, Howard. He had a band called Richie and his 222 Gang.
Right.
I played trumpet in his band. I'm also a horn player.
my.
And now I play everything. So, and this moving around the country, being in different bands, and seeing how things was. And when I got with P-Funk, all this education I got in music, these guys wasn't doing none of that. And I seen my spot and I took it. And and that's basically how it is. The advantages of a band is if you get a band, and it's hard to get a band and everybody can get on the same page and you act as a family. Have a vision and go for it. Today, I don't know what these kids are doing today. And the only one that I've really met personally that's in the music today that's doing real good was Bruno Mars. A couple of years ago, I did a Grammy party that when Bruno won those awards, we played at the party, the P-Funk Outlaws, and that's when I
wow.
briefly met him, and things was cool. And it's not really any bands today. It's like the old school bands are trying to hold on, but they faking the funk. They playing with tracks. They not playing instruments.
Right.
Like
Absolutely. Playing with tracks.
And that's killing me. Even George Clinton is doing that. I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. But I see it's kind of beneficial when you play in a smaller place, because a lot of these new engineers do not know how to engineer a live band. They engineer tracks. And
that's 2 tracks and vocals.
That's it. You know, and it's like, so people basically get to the point, I could just hire a bunch of pretty girls and say, just hold the instruments and fake it and go on stage and do it. I can't do that. I'm a worker. And, you know, bad notes and all. I just get in there and play it and make it work.
I heard that.
Brother Zoe. Zoe Williams.
I see he has a mute. He has a avatar picture or something with a mute on his mic.
Yeah, he's muted. Brother Zoe, you want to tackle this question? Is he around? Going once, going twice. Brother Zoe Williams. Okay, there he is.
I'm still here.
Okay, we wanted to find out, what is your take on the question?
The question about groups or bands?
Yeah, the benefits of them. What do you see as the benefits of them then and I guess now?
Well, I think bands were always influential for me when I was growing up. I loved Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm born 71, so I loved Earth, Wind, and Fire. And that was one of the most influential bands for me. But as I got older, the advent of the single superstar started to move. Commodores, they lose Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie becomes, a solo act. And a lot of his music, influenced, my early life as well. And Lionel, as a writer, I mean, he was writing for everybody, white and black artists. And he was touching a lot of people with his talent. And he did so to such a degree. Of course, you guys know the story. I mean, he blew up. I was affected by Michael Jackson as a solo artist, Prince as a solo artist. And I just think with the advent of guys that are that talented, the groups kind of took a back seat, especially coming out of the funk and disco era,
Yeah, exactly. Going to that disco.
Yeah, coming out of those eras, that singular leader kind of just took over, you know what I mean? And I don't think now groups, especially now, groups are not really well represented on the music landscape now, like they were back in the day. I mean, even in the 80s, I mean, you had Midnight Star, you had Atlantic Star, you had Shalimar. I mean, you had the Whispers, the groups definitely have taken a hit since, that one singular personality has stepped out and kind of paved the way for the solo star.
Yeah.
Think, I have a question for you. Do you think, for me, I always thought that kind of disco kind of hurt the band situation, because you used to have to go to the clubs, and so you go out to the club and you would dance to a band. But when disco came out, it started being kind of like the DJ, and the crowd themselves became the stars, as opposed, them being on the dance floor kind of became the stars and the DJ, as opposed to the bands. So I kind of think that had a little bit to do with that, that switch up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an amazing perspective. Like I said, during the disco phase, I was really young during that time. I mean, for instance, I mean, disco killed the band in this way because disco was a niche kind of sound for a time, as opposed to, you know, a sound that could live forever. Like for instance, there are some disco records that live forever. I mean, Gloria Gaynor, uh, but for the most part, that was kind of a flash in the pan kind of genre. Um, but funk lives forever. I mean, you could put on some funk records right now, and you can have a whole goddamn funk party, you know, and it'll ride. But when disco came, it was like a supernova genre. It burned really hot for a short amount of time. You look at that Michael Jackson Off the Wall album. There are a lot of disco elements in that album. However, with the musical genius of Quincy and the musicians that he surrounded around Mike, he created a classic piece that would be considered timeless. However, you would be hard pressed to find multiple disco records that stand next to Mike in that way, in terms of just classic disco record. I mean, I love Chic, I loved all those guys, but when you hear that music, even though the musicianship is high, you're listening to a time period. You're not really listening to something that's timeless. You're listening to a
Right.
Mm-hmm. It also in disco, uh, when disco came out, I was grown, and it was like it started changing American. It put a big dent in society also, because when disco came out, it opened the closets, and all kinds of shit came out of that closet. Everybody, I'm coming out,
Mhm.
and that was my, I was one of them, the world sucks. And, it opened that closet. And that's when I started noticing that the world and the music changed. People started taking shortcuts in the music. It was stupid for people to get a music degrees. Why? And
Right.
I know
Right.
for a fact that in 1979, I wrote a song called Simon Says. Simon was a computer. I was telling people then that computers was taking over the music. That would have been Parliament's biggest hit. It's on YouTube now, but Ron Dunbar went in there and changed the song out and took all the theory out of the song and the sequence of the song. George Clinton loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never gotten a chance to go back in the studio and redo the song, because at that time they took my band to prison. That's a whole nother story. George Clinton had to tell you that story. But I was telling everybody that computers were going to take over the music. And slide into the 80s, musicianship got worse and worse because everybody started taking shortcuts. And
Well, they
nobody
became
was
programmed.
listening to us old timers.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
started taking shortcuts.
So, yeah, speaking of shortcuts, though.
Drummers lost their jobs. I'm a drummer, and people wasn't calling me for sessions no more. Everybody was spending money on drum machines.
That's it. That's true.
Yeah.
And sequencing came in. People sequencing horn parts.
Appreciate
It was just, and I'm a blame it all on the disco. When the disco came, that's when music made that deep left turn, and it kept turning. But in all types of evolution, I'm waiting for it to come back around. It looks like it's slowly coming back around. American music don't do it, but overseas bands are big.
Wow.
Right.
You got to
Bands are
skip my
very big.
question.
It's coming back. I don't know if it's going to hit America as hard as it's hitting the rest of the country. I mean, the rest of the world.
Right. Right.
Stuff is coming back around. Bands are coming back around. But it's not as big as it should be. But us musicians got to hang in there and keep doing what we doing, keep making good music, because no matter what you do in life, somebody's gonna like it.
Right.
And you just got to keep doing it. We can't give up on it. And it's sad to me that every child wants to rap. Nobody wants to learn music. Everybody wants to rap, and now it ain't even rapping. I don't know what they're talking about now.
So, Mr. Green, we got to go on with the questions too, but because you're hitting all the things that you're hitting all the things that we're going to be asking. So you're giving away all the goodies.
Okay, I'm setting up.
You give them dessert. They got to have some veggies, man, and some salt. So we got to give them some stuff. So we're going to kind of flip it. What are the benefits of having a solo performer?
Is there really benefits in it?
Yeah, or if there's any. The
criteria is too big. The demand is too awkward. It's really, you got to be. It's not like it's nothing like the old days. You could be a big old fat barilla woman with a good talent, and people appreciate that. Now you got to look a certain way. You got to act a certain way. You got to do all these things. It's just, it ain't for everybody no more. And it's not, it's heartbreaking to me. It's like, I don't enjoy the music no more. I try to, but I don't see no advantage of a solo artist, because everybody sounds the same.
Hello?
To me.
Can y'all hear me?
Well, that's the record industry.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
If something works, they go right into the duplicate process of different artists. Let's get some artists out that sound like this. Let's get some artists out that remind us of this. I mean, back in the day, even with hip hop, even with rap, back in the day, everybody strived to be different. I don't want to sound like this guy. I don't want this guy to sound like me. I want to have different music. Everybody sounded different. But you already know, if something works, the executive part of the music industry is going to go out and try to find something similar to what works.
Now, though.
Yeah.
Now, Lonnie. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to go back to Lonnie's question for a minute. Now, I know for a fact, when you're dealing with multiple personalities, you got multiple issues. Okay.
Yeah.
And being a group, perfect example, fucking New Edition. Okay. Here's some guy that came into a situation at an early age and ain't never been happy. For some reason, they ain't never been happy with each other. But because they're so dynamic, they break off into various sectors of the same group. Johnny Gill is the three groups. You got Bell Bill DeVoe, you got Ralph Transvant, you got Bobby Brown, and this is pretty much the same conversation we're having overall. But when you're a solo artist, you got all the responsibility, but none of the headaches. And I think even with me as a performer, I don't mind performing with my partner clientele, but when I'm speaking as a professional speaker, I don't have the same concerns that I would have as a group member. And as you very well know, I ain't never seen a group that was happy with each other, that stayed together forever. And you got too many personalities, and everybody's life in that group affects that group. So it's real difficult to maintain that camaraderie that you had at the very beginning, especially when money come around. When money come around, that changed everything. Okay, they can be the best musician because
it turns into business. Yeah.
When I saw the documentary, the unsung on, I think it was who the Callaway Boys,
Midnight Star,
Midnight Star,
Reggie
Callaway now.
Yeah. When I saw they unsung, I had a flashback, because what happens is when everybody is starving and just trying to come up, everything is all good. Okay. Everything is good. Even when you're on the road, before you get that first big check, everything is all good. I talked to Steve Shockey from Lakeside, same thing. He was telling me, man, My boy Steve Shockey from Lakeside, sometimes they would take one check and just give it to each band member every night they play. They was making X amount of dollars per night. Say they making 20 grand a night. Everybody got 20 grand as opposed to spending all the money up. So that's how they did their business. But here's the problem. When you get a record deal and you got a 6-piece band, but you only got 2 members writing all the songs and the record's hit, everybody before that first BMI check or BMI ASCAP check come, everybody living in the same house, taking turns driving the same car, probably fucking the same girls, okay? But when that first BMI check comes and the 2 people that wrote and produced the music move out of the house and buy Benzes and buy bigger houses, the other 4 people want to know what happened.
Right.
How did y'all screw us? We didn't screw you. We took care of the business that made us keep us working. But the check come to me. I wrote the song. This is my check. Now you got people that's in the band that feel that they should get a piece of the writer's check because they ain't wrote a goddamn thing. They played, but they didn't write. Those are 2 different checks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 different checks. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And now the publishing check comes around. Who owns the publishing? Now, if the publishing is owned, if it was already understood by all the band members, we're gonna share the publishing. Or if nobody like me, I didn't know what publishing was. When I became the owner of it, I had no idea what publishing was. My lawyer wrote my contract up for Dre and Yell and them. I retained the publishing because I was one putting up all the money. And y'all know, at bottom line is that's where the money is in the publishing. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you own the publishing and you are a writer like I was, you get 2 checks. And now if you in a big group like Midnight Star or somebody like that, and everybody's not getting you only got 2 people getting most of the money, you got a problem. You got a problem.
You're absolutely right. But like you just mentioned a second ago, when you in the business and you young in the business, you don't know the business.
Well,
that's why you get wait. You don't know the business.
Hold on. This is something I fight with right to this day. When you young and in the business, you don't care about the business. All you care about is the first check. You care about somebody put you on.
All you care about the big booty girls. That's all you care about.
That's true. They kind of got a little more heavy than that. They want a check to go do the flossing, to make the video, to do the dumb shit. Okay, and I just saw this video early this year. This new kid, Blueface, he was on the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God asked him about his business, and I don't know nothing about that right there. My people take care of that right there. Charlamagne dropped his head. I watched him. This is why when you have a spurt of success, because most of these guys are like candles, they blow up and blow out. Okay,
yep.
They blow up and blow out. And you look up 5 years from now and you don't own your name, you don't own the rights to your shit. You an old fucker trying to play clubs when you were doing stadiums. And now you don't have nothing to show for your fame and fortune. Now you get mad. Okay?
You're right about that.
Now you get mad because you didn't take time. You were too busy fucking girls, trying to do whatever you do, especially these guys. They got so many distractions. Everybody wants to be on whatever. They got to be at all the venues, all the parties. Ain't nobody taking care of no business. And even when they get the money, they can't wait to find something stupid to fuck it off on. I can't stand that shit. And I'm going to let somebody else talk for a minute.
Hey, man, you are so right. You are so right. I've seen this in the P-Funk. I mean, you hit it, and I see how people blame George now. And I'm the one that speaks up for George and said, it's y'all's fault that y'all ain't got. Y'all grown men, and I learned the business by getting screwed. And that's, but the bands coming out in the 80s and the 90s, they were more smarter on the business than we was in the 70s. Because the 70s, it was like, nobody cared about no money. We just wanted some dope. We wanted to get high. We wanted the big booty girls. And we didn't care about that. And all of a sudden you got a little older, like, hey man, where the money at? You don't own your publishing. You don't own nothing. You giving away free music. You write music. Yeah, I was in the studio last night and people getting credit for your music.
Wait, Lonnie, hold on. The biggest and the dumbest shit they do is mixtapes.
Oh,
They go to the studio. The biggest and the dumbest shit they do is mixtape. Most people don't understand what a mixtape was supposed to be about. A mixtape was produced back in the day using other tracks of other artists, like a Dre track or a Snoop track. They get the instrumental and they would make their own version of their records. They had to give them away because they didn't control the music.
Right.
Okay? They had to give them away. Now you got folks going to the studio, spending big money, and actually making albums, calling them mixtapes, and giving them away, and then wonder why the tracks get ripped off by other artists. That's how stupid they are. That's how dumb they are.
When you don't know the business, that's what happens. You're right.
But
now,
no other musical genre has mixtapes. You ain't never heard of country and western mixtape?
yeah, that's
You
true.
ain't never heard of gospel mixtape? Only hip hop does it. That's because you're not going to hear it because they are so anxious and so desperate to get out and get recognized. Most of them get hood recognition. Okay, they just get some hood recognition and they become a hood celebrity in most cases.
Yeah.
They just so excited to be there. They don't care about nothing else. They want to get in the club free and bring some homies with them.
That's it.
Now, Chris, did you ever tackle that question?
Well, like I said, when we first signed, we signed to Norman Whitfield. So Norman came from the the Motown thing. So you sign your publishing right off the bat, you know. So I came that way from the very beginning. I would just sign to his publishing. We got a little advance, and he just had it, you know. You guys had me thinking. I had some friends that played with the Barcades, right? And they used to just all of them share that check. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't necessarily, you know, they just shared it equally, but they didn't get really, you know, there was somebody else that was right. I don't want to say somebody else, but the producer was really pretty much owning everything. So every once in a while, my buddy, and you probably know, but the trombone player Frank Thompson played with them with the Barcades because he did a lot of stuff. They did a lot of stuff with the Funk Parliament back in the day, and yeah. So the thing is, he still complains about that now. You know about that. You know that he did this bass line, he did this, and so on, so forth. But they were just all for one and one for all. But they wasn't. You know, they was just out there. They was making that money, that weekly money. They was getting high. You know, and they just, you know, they didn't get it. The guy who was producing it, you know, because you know what they was doing. Whoever had the hottest record. When we was with Rick had a song called Super Freak. They have a song that's something called a Freak. Whatever record was hot, they would come back with a record that sounded just like the hottest record, which was really good. They never had that number one record, but they was always touring. So, but they didn't never get that individual money. I wanted to say something else about this. When you were asking about the individual, the solo artist, sometimes if you're an artist like a what's his name, Lionel Richie or a Michael Jackson, sometimes being in a band or a group really holds you back. And sometimes you get caught in a situation where you want to, you know, you feel so tied into a group, you feel so much camaraderie and love. Y'all done been through so much stuff together, but you give up something. Sometimes you give up something being part of that group. You hold yourself back. So sometimes, and I'm just throwing another layer to that solo situation. Sometimes it's really good to be able to break free if you have that little special, that extra thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you make sense, Chris. But at the same time, sometimes when you leave the band, you lose your career. I'll give you the best example. My friend
true.
Felipe Wynn. When Felipe left the Spinners, he wasn't no more. He came
true,
to people.
True.
And you know, it depends on the individual. Some people like
True,
Jeffrey Osborne, he did his thing. A lot of people, it's like that. But Felipe, and I can't think of nobody else. People done left the group and try to go out on their own and didn't make it. I even know some hip hop artists that left the group, and I didn't hear much about him. One of Lonzo's boys, Ren. Ren didn't do like the rest of them. It's just like
Ren didn't leave. Ren kind of had one thing about Ruthless. When Easy died, they tried their best to make anybody over there another star. He didn't leave. He never left Ruthless. He just stepped out. But Ren was always under Ice Cube's shadow anyway. So, and sometimes some cats just don't have that. Some guys work better as a second man as opposed to a front man.
Right. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Zoe Williams, you want to say something? Zoe? I saw him he was about to say something, and then he went back to his super picture.
Oh man.
Okay. Now, this should be played in music classes, huh? I think this is very important. Now the thing that I want to bring up, because I'm pretty heady. I'm going a little deeper with this. Is it necessary to say most people either emulate or relive the experience of mostly through music? Would you say that?
I don't understand the question.
Me either.
Like for example, you have people that would try to emulate some of the things that they hear in the lyrics.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right? I mean, they even got music videos to show you how to do it, right? The question is, would you say the same for groups and solo performers? Where would
hell yeah.
So can anybody elaborate on that?
I mean, go ahead, man. I'll come back.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
No, when you think about the 70s, man, when the Temptations took off, everybody grabbed a corner and started singing. Here come the OJs, Dramatics, Delphonics. Delphonics. Then you got the Dale. If you had Dale, actually Dale came out before anybody did. But right. I'm just saying, once you see something that's working, everybody have their own way of doing it. But what I can say about the brothers from the forefathers of the game, you can't confuse the Temptations with the Dramatics. You can't confuse Smokey Robinson and Miracles with the Dales, because they all had their own sound. They all had their own look. Now, on the same token, you can't name me if you ain't a musical fan, you can't name me one nigga outside of Smokey Robinson Miracle other than Smokey Robinson. You can't name me another one. Okay? Same thing. I barely know the Dales. I know the Temptations because they were one of the first groups that ever got individual recognition as singers. Okay? And the same thing with Dramatics, because I'm a Dramatic fan. But most of the acts that that back in those days, they were groups, they were all individuals, but they sang as a group, not as an individual.
Right. But you pretty much might have known the lead singer, especially a Motown. Yeah, you would know that, like Levi Stubbs or something like that.
Name me a Mandela. Okay.
No, I can remember Martha. That was the one thing about Motown, is that you kind of knew the lead singer.
I can name the Supremes.
Okay.
I just know three of them.
So that was about it.
I don't know that last
one.
But you're right. I mean, people only recognize the person who they select as a star.
Right.
Now, the reason why I brought this up is because back then you had the groups. I mean, you had several groups. I mean, singing bands and what have you. And it seemed like most people took on the group persona. They always wanted to come together and do things as a community. And right now, for the last few years, a lot of people we're being introduced with solo acts a lot. Like, it's very prevalent. And it seems like that's what we're doing as a community by doing things on a solo tip. So I was wondering, does the music drives that, even though we're just listening to it?
Let me jump into this real quick. The one thing that I remember that I'm gonna say about the old days, and especially at Whitfield, Alonzo, you'll attest to this. You know, when you had musicians that could play, you could come in there, a person could come in there with the idea and hum a bass line, and that bass player start playing a bass, the guitar come in, he would add something else, the keyboard would add something, and you would have something that would be special. Nowadays, you don't get that. I work with a lot of these kids, right? And it's basically a beat. Don't get me wrong. There's an art to putting the beat and everything together. But I have been, I got a little kid group like New Edition right now. I've been trying to put together bands for days. I don't know. It's the hardest thing right now to find a male singer. It is hard. I'm not homophobic in any kind of way, but I don't know if they feel, if these, especially these young black males, feel that it's effeminate to be a singer. I don't know if that's the case, but you can't find a young male singing group. You just can't find it. And I'm hard pressed to find a male singer that's not. And again, I'm not homophobic. That's not gay. I got probably eight. When I meet a male vocalist, that's probably what's going on. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not homophobic. But I'm saying I can't put a boy group together. I can't do it because they don't know, they don't see it. They haven't seen it. And that's another reason with these bands. You know, the band.
Yeah.
They haven't seen, these kids have not seen a young band since Ready for the World. There hasn't been if they don't go to church, they don't even see a band.
Lonnie, Lonnie, I hear what you're absolutely correct. But because technology has allowed them to express highway into the music industry, it's almost in some cases they feel like it's a waste of time. I mean, most of these guys don't even get into the game until they get out of high school because ain't no music programs in school no more.
That's true.
And no more.
Just getting ready to hit on that.
I'm on the board of the Compton Music Conservatory, and we have to have a separate entity to bring music to the school, to the children of Compton, so that they can experience what it feels like to know what it is to write and play an instrument. Write music and play an instrument, because they don't have it in the school no more. You may have it in band, but band don't. Y'all know band ain't the same as who want to be the lead piccolo player or the tuba player. Okay, it ain't no tubas in hip hop.
Right.
I have a young hip hop buddy named Rashad. He be using tubas. It's funny. His name was Rashad. He put some tubas in his stuff.
Now you know what? Now if he know what he's doing, he might come up with something that could work.
Yeah.
This is what I tell these guys, man. You ain't got to take the straight tuba. You might put an effect on the tuba to make it work even better.
That's it. It's about being creative.
But if you don't know basic music and don't know what the bass does, that's what made the 808 so popular, because it had so much bottom on it. Could you imagine having a tuba that's gated properly or compressed properly, and you blowing it like you're supposed to? You might come up with some real shit, man.
You give me some ideas.
But again, you got to understand both. You got to understand the studio. You got to understand musicianship and engineering. You just can't be a one-trick pony. Because most cats don't have the creativity to think about nothing like that. My biggest problem was I used to fight with guys about what we gonna do. Because Wrecking Crew, one thing about World Class Wrecking Crew, when we got our first record deal, they didn't know how to market us. They didn't know where we were, whether we were a R&B group or a rap group, because we had singing, we had music and shit, and nobody understood that. And I was just trying to make sure we had something that was unique, that was compatible for that time, because we were being a World Class Record Crew. And in 1984, we wasn't playing with a bunch of rap acts. We was opening up for R&B acts, like the Mary Jane Girls and the Barcades. So we couldn't go out there like everybody else. We had to look like everybody else. We played with Ready for the World. We playing with opening for New Edition. So we had to have the look and the music to compare to that. Okay, and that's why we had to make that fusion.
Okay, so this is great, you guys. So the question I think you guys kind of touched on it, but we'll do like more of a confirmation. Why are so many solo acts here in the United States in black music? Let me see. Why are so many solo acts here in the United States in black music are, but at the same time, there's rising groups in other countries like K-pop, J-pop. So why is it so prevalent to do groups outside of U.S., but in black music, damn near everybody's a solo act?
I can tell you why.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you my opinion on that. The reason why I believe it is because in other countries, the music industry is more controlled by people with vision. Here in the States, you got 30-year-old label owners who only know certain things. Okay, let me go back for a second. The same reason why the music sounds like it does, and how it was much different back in the day. Because back in the day, like my man said earlier, he was signed to Norman Whitfield, and Norman Whitfield wrote those songs for him. And Norman Whitfield had the musical and the personal experience to write the songs to give them to a young act to perform. Same thing in other countries. Somebody behind them has the money, and they've done the marketing research to understand what it's going to take for you to cross over to a international market. You're not going to do it as a solo Korean. It ain't going to happen. You're going to, but if you're doing new edition type stuff, and you can take that to Korea, Baghdad, you take it anywhere you want to, huh? Somebody understands marketing, and that's why they put. And I bet you that's like Menudo. When they get too old, they're gonna change them out like a flat tire.
That's true. That's true.
Menudo was that was their thing. When you got to be like 15, you got a hair on your lip. Up, you got to go. Okay. So I can see this. I'm not saying that's the case, but I can see that kind of situation where somebody owns that group, owns that name, owns everything about it. They got these kids out front making this money right now, and as long as they're popular, they're gonna be out there. And as soon as they start getting old or start having babies or whatever, they're gonna flip them out. That's what they do.
Okay.
I think the other thing here is that we're in another situation here in the States, and I'm gonna say especially in the States because I can't speak of anywhere else. But the A&R situation has completely changed because it's not about what's necessarily good music. It's about what's going on in social media.
Right.
So they're not taking chances. They're just looking at the trend. If somebody's got millions of views and millions of spins on Spotify, those are the type of artists that they're signing. They're not going after and the young man that was at Maverick that was A&R, he knows he was actually looking at these and he was helping building these people's careers. Now it's not about that. They just seeing something that's working and they just jump on that. And then somebody else jumps on that. It ain't about finding a serious talent. Don't get me wrong. I'm not cutting anybody down in terms of talent or rapping or singing, whatever. But it's not, if you can film a fart and put some fire behind it and film it, automatic and film it, you can go viral and you can put a record out to the daggone, a beat out to the fire shooting out your butt, and you might have a hit record. You see what I'm saying? It ain't about it ain't necessarily about talent all the way now. I'm not saying there's no talent out there, but it's a different vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's about the social media influence. That's what's kind of ruling what's going on in the music.
Exactly.
Okay, Lonnie.
Yeah, I'm rolling, so the phone's in and out for me. I'm on my way. We got a show out here in Highland Park, and I'm on my way to the show.
Okay.
So I'm kind of fading in and out.
Okay. Yeah, the question was mainly why are there so many black solo acts here, but out of the country is so many up and coming groups like J-pop and K-pop and other places.
But Dick, just so you know, as those groups get more and more popular, you're going to see more and more black groups come back together again because everybody is monkey see, monkey do.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's always been like that.
Okay?
Yeah.
And if a nigga got dreads on his ass, everybody gonna have dreads on their ass. Niggas got tattoos, dreads, and tight ass pants. That's the thing right there. If you ain't got dreads, tattoos, and tight ass pants, you ain't shit. Oh, and a blunt hanging out your mouth.
Yeah, that's icing right there.
Going back on something that Chris said about not filing talent, you know, when you're in cities like Los Angeles, Detroit, Chicago, New York, those type of places, people forget the South. Man, every time I go to the South, and I was just down there 2 weeks, my mind is blown. I told George Clinton long ago, the South is where all the funk is. Y'all slipping on them, but they don't care. They don't care about making it big. Man, you talking about singing groups and boys groups and girl groups down there? It's ridiculous. And the rest of the country don't even hear about it, especially in Houston. In the city of Houston, man, they don't care about the rest of the United States.
Right.
You know, they can do their thing in Texas and make money.
That's true.
And man, there's so much talent there. I've been blown away.
Okay.
Detroit, the music programs are gone because they're closing all the black schools down in the black communities. Not in the South. The marching bands is tight. The bands down there is tight. I mean, I'm sitting in jig joints, hearing people just singing. I'm like, God dang. So that's why I'm back and forth to Texas now. You know, so they out there. We just don't know where to look. You got to go to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. That's where your talent is. But they don't care about it like you do. They don't care about it. Man, I just do this for the fun. I don't want to be bothered with that. But then you still have those that starstruck that really want to be involved in it and don't know how to get into it. So you have people from the city that go down there and end up burning in people. Man, the story goes on and on. But this is what we're talking about is nothing new. This has been going on in the music industry forever. It's just now that social media and other outlets have opened the eyes to everybody. And
has anybody, Lonnie, has anybody seen Clarence Avon's documentary?
Who?
No, I've heard some wonderful things about it. So
Clarence Avon's documentary, Black Godfather.
No,
Black Godfather.
Okay,
yeah.
the first 5 minutes, he tells the whole story about the music game. The music game and the agencies come from gangsters, man. The whole thing comes from gangsters, okay?
Yeah.
And they start a lot of the agencies started off booking the black acts during the Prohibition, and when the Prohibition was abolished, they had to keep the people working. So a lot of these agencies kept doing their thing, and then they got these contracts. A record contract is the only thing you can sign. I'm hiring you to make a project for me, but you got to give me all the money back to make it happen. Okay? I'm going to give you a royalty. That's what it does. I'm going to loan you the money to make me a product, okay? Make me a product I'm going to own that you got to pay me back for making it happen, for loaning you the money for my product.
Right. True. I want my money back.
I want my money back. Now I'm gonna give you a piece of it. I'm gonna give you a small piece of it, okay? And then they got mad because what happens is, even when that happens, if the record is good enough, the artist will become a superstar like a Shaka Khan, and she ain't made a new record in God knows how long, but she's still singing the hits from the 70s. So they got mad and said, well, we're gonna put all this marketing money that we loaned you all this marketing money to make our product a hit. Not that it's a hit, we dropped you, but you still making money off of singing this song. We can't make no more money of it. So what we're gonna do now is give you what they call a 360 deal. So I don't give a damn what you do. You make a movie, you sell a tennis shoe, a pair of jeans, some perfume, nigga, give me my money.
That's true. That's true. I'm gonna get mine.
Prince, that was Prince's big issue. Yeah, that was Prince's big issue. When he was writing slave on his face. Yeah, I mean, Zoe, you're right. That's the idea.
So you ain't never met an artist that was you ain't never met an artist happy with their record deal. Never.
Wow.
Michael Jackson was mad at Sony. Prince was mad at Warner Brothers. Cameo got mad at Arista, where Casablanca. New Edition got mad at MCA. I don't know who Beyonce with, but her husband bought her own goddamn record deal. So fuck it.
That's married life, right?
Yeah.
So let me move on to this one here because it kind of, I mean, I'm quite sure you guys are touching on it. That's why you're throwing a lot at us that we have to really take notes and start studying and learning how not to make the same mistakes, right? So the thing that I'm really still trying to touch on. I mean, do you see our people overwhelmingly having a solo mentality today?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the culture, man. A part of the whole world. I mean, look at we're dealing with the selfies. You know, I mean that's a whole generation. I mean, you got to just look at everybody. I can be a star. That's what I'm talking about earlier. I can be a star. I got a phone. The whole mentality is about me. So it's deeper than just singing or being an artist. We're just talking about the whole mentality. Look at, we got a president. He's on Twitter. We got a whole world that just sees themselves. You know, it's deeper. It's deeper than just the music.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, he told them they're pretty good. She fucked up.
All right, so let me move on. Let me keep it flowing. Now, this is something I have to break down here. I think you guys are really going to tackle this one. I noticed today's male artists, perhaps they were part of a group to later go solo, often has some kind of feminine trait. Maybe an androgynous persona. Could this be one of their agendas on emasculating the black male's image?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say because I've been victim of this shit myself. Let me have it for a hot second. I'll give it to anybody that wants it.
Here, take the wheel.
When I came into the game in the mid '80s, okay, I still get clowned because I had a little eyeliner on, and I had a Jerry curl. Now Jerry curl, that was my hood thing. Okay,
whip appeal.
The niggas that laughed at the Jerry curl had Jerry curl later on themselves. So fuck them. Okay, but when you are in the '80s, whether you was a rock band, whether you was a rap band, whether you was Prince, Michael Jackson, R&B, Ready for the World, everybody had that little androgynous type thing. You know, guys put on a little bit of rouge. I ain't fucking that rouge shit, but I did do the eyeliner thing, okay? And I did have a little weave in the back. I wanted my shit to sit on my shoulders. That's another story. But I did that for me. That wasn't for no. That wasn't for,
it's show business.
It's called show business, okay? But see, the difference with me and the guys of the '80s, first of all, I did that shit one time for an album cover. I never did it for the stage, and I never did it again. Okay, but for the most part, the difference between us and the guys today. We washed our faces and went back to being Lonzo, okay?
We took that shit off.
We took that shit off, okay? We put on a pair of jeans, a pair of tennis shoes, a t-shirt, and went, that was stage shit. That wasn't my life.
Right.
And I keep telling motherfuckers, nigga, I wore that for an album cover. I'm looking at the suit right now. I get the suit the coat right here. I can't do nothing with I'm hanging on this goddamn dummy. Y'all can't see the shit for some reason. But I can't fit this motherfucker, but it's part of my archives. And I tell people, man, we did shit for the stage. I know goddamn well that dude enjoyed and part of the Funkadelic didn't walk around with a big ass diaper on. That ain't what people do.
Well, that's Scheider, right?
Okay.
Well, Zoe, you're right.
Homeboy from...
And you see how I dress with all the long hair?
Right.
And shit, you know I don't wear that shit.
Lonnie bald the motherfucker.
I wear all that shit.
Lonnie ain't had no hair since 1972. But he played a role. And
yeah, I have all this long hair and the long coats. But when the show's over, take that shit off.
That shit go on the coat hanger. That shit, wait. Oh, I got one. That shit go in the closet. You don't come out, okay?
Till the show
that shit go in the closet. Come out.
Yeah, so we had to bring them pictures out. I hope you're not running for office, Lonzo.
Huh?
No, we got your picture up. So
okay.
We're trying to give people visuals because you were describing it, so we want people to actually
I'm trying to see. I see my logo. Can y'all see me?
No, does everybody see the world class record?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I see
That
it.
black jacket.
All
That
I see
black
is
jacket.
Lonnie's
He
big
just showed
face
up
right
there
now.
behind me right now.
DJ back then. I'm the first scratching DJ in Texas.
Yeah, we'll blow it up.
Man, I wore that world class records, the world class wrecking crew. I made y'all hot in Texas.
Yeah.
Everything that was from Compton area, I made y'all hot in Texas.
Yeah. So who was the guy next to you, Lonzo? I never knew his name.
The short guy.
Yes.
That's DJ Clientele. He and I, we still work together right to this day.
Okay, but I know DJ Yella and that's Dr. Dre in the corner, right?
Right. Now, me and Clientele, we hooked up about 2 years ago, and we started doing shows again. Okay, and we have a ball. Cool. But Clientele got his life, I got mine. Okay, and I just found I did dollar for dollar, I make more money speaking by myself than I do playing with another man in the concert. Because most concerts, because they got so many artists on the show, they're trying to cut their costs. And that's another reason why you don't see a lot of acts. If we was performing as a 4-man group right now, we probably wouldn't work. Because these new promoters don't want to pay you unless you a big act, they don't want to pay you no money.
True.
You know, Egyptian Lover, he goes all over Europe by himself as a DJ, doing his Egyptian Lover show because he can make money, but if you got to take somebody with him, it's gonna cut into the budget and shit. You know, at this point in time, that's one thing everybody's kind of looking over is when it comes down to it, it's all about money. It's all about money. Okay.
That's why I'm out here on this East Coast, because I make more money than I was making in Los Angeles. I got a bigger fan base out here. And it's like, when I'm in Compton, I'm just Lonnie. I don't care how many wigs and long coats I put on. That's just Lonnie. We ain't thinking about Lonnie. But out here, I'm Count Funkula. I'm signing autographs, and it's like people appreciate you. Not saying they don't appreciate you at home, but I'm homegrown.
No, they know you. No, they don't. They know you. They see you at the store. They see you when you ain't got your shit on. At the bank, what's up, Count Funkula? Yeah, don't give a fuck. They know your family. Niggas in LA know your family and shit.
They know all that, and you can't even front when you there. You can't front about nothing.
Yeah. So, anybody else want to take on that answer? Or the question? I'm sorry.
I think I'll let y'all roll on that one.
Don't worry, I got some for everybody. I got some for everybody. So we got Count Funkula right here.
You see all that? Now, after the show, I take all that stuff off.
Go to the goddamn suit bag.
That's it. Put my cap on and my short pants and walk around the crowd like I'm just the average Joe.
Right. And then we got Chris as well. Right there. Isn't that you on the left, Chris?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
On the side, looking like a Klingon.
You can tell Rick is high as a kite, huh? Even in the picture, you can tell. It's like, But yeah, these are legends here, so we got to give people visual because people are like, what are you talking about? Like, no, these are real legends, right? So I'm gonna go on to the next question. Okay, so we'll keep it flowing because I know I don't want to take up everybody's time. Now, the other question would be, back then, for every hardcore masculine singer, there were always a falsetto or a soft male vocalist. On the other side, now, it seems like the soft singers have cornered the market according to the industry. Is that the case? Even in hip hop, you got Drake. Anybody see that or anything, or want to address it?
Well, you know what, man? A lot of these cats, man, they just doing what they think is hot. Nobody's thinking for themselves per se, and I'm gonna do this right here because I want to be original. No. They didn't look at something or saw something and gave them my idea. I'm gonna try this right here, and it worked for him. But best believe it's gonna be a whole bunch of niggas right behind him.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Because
Monkey see, monkey do.
Right.
Yeah, I had a kid on The Voice last year, y'all, a R&B singer. He could really sing, really sing, but he's old school, and he's a singer. He's only 24, but he can't. Even if he tried to do what everybody's doing young, he ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he can. I'm gonna say really, he got the range and everything. It's I don't want to say people got to dummy down, but you almost do now because you know for I'm just gonna say especially for male singers, and I don't run into too many. I mean, I work with a lot of kids, y'all, and the thing, Lonzo, you out on the West Coast, you run into a lot of male singers out there.
I've started to do more singers than before, man. Most cats want to be rappers, but as I change my circle of affiliation, I run into more singers.
Really, because I and then the other thing, and I'm gonna just say this is, and I'm gonna ask you this. I run into so many kids. They don't have the grind. They don't have the stick to it. They don't have the stick to itiveness.
Exactly.
They don't. I mean, they don't get it, man. You can take them to the water, but they don't drink. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't rehearse. You know, they don't put that same amount in it. They almost feel like it's
owed to them.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word, owed to them.
It's owed to them, man. I don't owe you shit. Okay. The one thing I've never done, I've written records, produced records, performed records, sold records. I've never been a manager before. Okay. And people have asked me to manage them in the past. I turned it down because the work ethic that I will require my artists to do, you ain't gonna do that. Okay. That's like Kobe trying to teach one of these new basketball players, hey man, you got to be a rehearsal, you got to be a gym rat. No, man, I just want the ring, I just want to get the car. No. This if you gonna roll with me, this is how you got to roll. Okay. And both these cats think, as long as they got a couple thousand followers on Instagram and the blunt hanging out their mouth, they're a celebrity. I've given showcases at my club, man. And niggas, Lonnie will tell you, me and Lonnie used to do a thing at the club. I forgot what we called it. It was live remix. Lonnie had a 3-piece band, and we would have cats come up there and just flow. I mean, bring them up there just to let them do their thing and to a band. First of all, they were shocked because they didn't think they can keep up with a band. Because we take the original tracks, they jump drive, play them. Lonnie with his Merry Men would add to the track, okay? And some of these cats' heads would get so big that so fast it'd be ridiculous, man. You just did something for the first time. Anybody giving you a record, man, put me on. Now, here's the next thing. Oh man, put me on. You can have all the publishing. I don't give a damn. Now, see that the problem with that is for me. I live in the same house for 35 years. Okay. If I take all your publishing and you blow up, you're gonna be mad at me. I'm gonna watch my back around the neighborhood.
Right. Absolutely.
See, people take all your publishing.
They don't know what they're saying.
Right. People take all your publishing. They're gonna move to the valley. You'll never know where they live at. You're gonna come to their office. You're gonna meet them at their office. They're gonna go back home. I live in the community, so my business is in the community. I live in the community, and I shop and I hang out in the community. I don't want to be cut up like Nipsey Hussle on some bullshit.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I can't take advantage of you. I can't. Okay. My personal safety will not allow me to take advantage of none of you young ignorant motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So oh, go ahead, brother.
So I choose not to really deal with a lot of rap. You know, when I talk to an artist, it's more of it's a relationship. I got one guy right now I'm looking to manage, man. This guy plays the violin, funky ass violin. I don't even like the violin, but this dude plays the hell out this violin. Okay, he sings, he entertains. He's an entertainer. Okay, him and I talked to him about what he does. He teaches violin to kids now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 12 o'clock. You get any more upload? How many more you get today?
Oh, the wind here. Somebody blowing in my ear. Okay.
All right, cool. So yeah, Doc, it's a mindset, man, that sometimes they don't get it. They don't understand, you know, they don't understand. They don't appreciate it. I mean, it comes too easy to them. Why should they appreciate it? All they gotta do is go to Guitar Center and buy a band in a box and come on, load it on their computer. And, you know, they're ready to start going in mama's bathroom and say something stupid right quick and get shit. Upload to YouTube.
Yeah.
Ain't no gatekeepers.
You're right. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Lonzo, it's more simpler than that now. You can go on YouTube right now, and they got this thing, thousands of songs called backing tracks. People just put tracks on YouTube that you can just take and do what you want with them. I'm talking about thousands and any kind of music that you can think of. Because that's what I practice my guitar to. I play all day. I put on these jazz tracks, funk tracks, country tracks, any kind of tracks you want, thousands of them. Guys, just put them on YouTube so you can have them and make you a song.
Yeah, you can sit there and say track like Marvin Gaye, and you know, a track like Give It Up, and you'll find that track like that, just like that,
Well,
and different versions of it. And so because one of the things I do with these kids, I'll be straight up. I'll let them find one of them tracks. You find me some tracks you like. You go ahead and write to it. And if it sounds like it's a record, then we'll take that track, and then we'll take some elements about that track, and then we'll put the track around We'll take your acapella and put a track around it. You know, and it's kind of a simple thing. It's not even. He's absolutely right. You know, and then these people lease these beats. You know, you seen how the sites where you can lease beats for like $25?
Yeah. Well, shit.
$25.50.
Wait. Know. Little Nas X, the country boy, that beat is leased.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now
that beat is leased. Yeah. If somebody got their paperwork right, they straight for life.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody got their paperwork right, they stay straight for life. If they don't, there's a mad motherfucker. He mad as fuck. If he got his paperwork straight, he already got a ticket written. But if he ain't, he gonna be a mad motherfucker.
So I'm gonna move this right along. You know, like here, I think there's something that you know sometimes we don't address enough. You know, because remember this kind of commemorates a little bit of Dreamgirls and stuff that Florence Ballard went through, where on the female side, you know, of course, the most beautiful one was noticed, but the ones that may have the right, you know, may not have the right look or size may be passed up as a solo act, but can sing circles around the group. So, you know, what is your take on it? Is that still being practiced today? Because I don't really hear much about how they treat females.
Look, man, the female singers or rappers or just artists, period.
Well, I just artist period. Let's go with the artist period.
Okay, females nowadays, man, the better the body. If you can even stay on beat, you got to actually
stay on beat.
If you can stay on beat, they got a young girl,
man.
Huh?
They got a young girl. Sex.
Yeah, they got a young girl called Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah,
6 foot tall, thick as a milkshake. Okay, she can stay on beat. Now she going to school to get a degree. She in school, but she's a stripper. Okay, that's her thing. So, because she got the look, she got millions of Instagram followers because she got the look, and that look, and the fact that she can stay on beat and talk about her pussy gets people to download her stuff and stream her shit. Okay, that's her only claim to fame is she got a banging body. I know girls that can rap rings around her, but that don't mean nothing.
Right.
They ain't that hot to look at.
It's all that. Again, social media, what you can bring in. You know, I mean, and I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I like Cardi B. I can't
stand it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
The reason why I like her.
I'm sorry.
The reason why I like her is because I just did something at Wilberforce University a couple of months ago, right? And I asked the kids, because I asked them the questions, why aren't there any male singing groups? Why ain't they this? Why? And this is what they told me. Every act that Meek Mills, these were some of the people that were their favorite. Well, you know what they said was, it's because we can relate to them. It had nothing to do with the music. Nobody said this person was a great vocalist. Nobody. This is what they said. It's because we can relate to them. And that's a whole different concept with these young people. It's a different concept than what we came up listening to about the music. It's a whole nother thing with these people.
You're right about that. That goes back to NWA. People in Texas didn't understand why I was so crazy about NWA. I know everything they talk about. They talking about my life. If you lived in Compton, they were talking about your life. I can relate.
Now,
and so I can understand that. I knew everything. Nothing that they were saying was fake in NWA. So it goes back. I can understand what the kids are saying. Okay, right, now, I'm with that.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. I had this conversation this morning. The problem is when you telling the story that you. Let me back up. In the world of hip hop is based on keeping it 100, keeping it real. Okay.
Right.
Unfortunately, in a lot of cases, the person telling the story is not the person that lived the story. They're just telling the story.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, for the kids, for most kids, don't vet their artists. So therefore, they take the artist for lyrical value. Okay, they take them at lyrical value, and they're assuming because they said they did this or they put themselves in this position lyrically that they are who they are. Okay, I got hit with a thing of the day.
What happened?
No, we lost somebody. I
heard something about money back.
Was that Lonzo?
Commercials. He gonna come back.
You lost Lonzo.
Dang. Yeah, they stole it. The executives took him. He was giving too much game. But he'll be back. He'll send me a message if he can't come back in. But the other part too is that I really want to ask, do you think that we should try to go back to groups and try to diversify the genre in black music? Or should we just leave it alone? Oh, we should. Okay, you tell.
Should go back because it's like Lord, let me get the right answer. We have to. It's because part of being a Black American, it's part of our history. And our history was based on his story. But we need to tell our story. And our stories has been told for years in music. But now in today's music, I'm hearing the same crap over and over. And I tell people, how much longer are you going to glorify the ghetto? I mean, a lot of black people lived in the ghetto, but we all didn't live by the same rules. We all wasn't doing drive-bys and all that. I mean, there's other parts of life. Tell that part of life. But now everybody thinks that they have to project a certain image. You do not. We got to go back. We got to go back to put music into the schools. The older people who have knowledge of music have to. I mean, it's their business to teach the youth music, not this stuff on computers and stuff. Teach them the notes, teach them the theory, teach them the business of music. We must go back, because if it's not, I mean, just think about our kids, our grandkids today. I got great grandkids, but think about the grandkids. This is going to be their good old days. So now I'm looking back to like when my parents was young and they were talking about the music I listened to. and it keeps changing, but the music is no identification to it. I mean, so we must go back. We got to go back. That's all I got to say about that.
Let me have it for a second there. At 62 years old, I still DJ. That's my only claim to musicianship. Okay, and I'm a damn DJ. This weekend, I was asked to sit in at a club over in LA that had 2 rooms in it. Okay, I played the front room. The front room was an older crowd. The back room was a younger crowd. 2 things happened in the front room that I haven't seen happen in a long time. One, old folks jamming to my old school stuff, and they also jammed to the band. Okay, anybody that wasn't jamming to me or the band was sitting there singing along, stamping their feet. You could tell they was having a good time just by their body language.
Right.
I walked in the back. I took during my break. I walked in the back room. They were playing the so-called new stuff, and it was almost like a morgue. There was the crowd was more people in the back, or just to be people in the back, but the vibe was like they waiting to pounce on somebody. Okay, it's like you waiting for a fight to jump off, and security had to stay back there because it's not a young crowd, but the music, the tonality of the music creates a different vibe. Okay, and one thing about I know about music from the 70s and 80s, there's a level of soul there that when a musician or guitar player, he does that little thing when he move his finger on the string, or that bass player pop that string, a little extra note on that bass. You can't get that with a computer. You can't get that soul on it. You can't computerize soul. You cannot computerize soul. Okay?
You cannot program a feeling. That's what I've been saying for years. You cannot program a feeling.
Even when a musician makes a mistake, that mistake can be covered up by something else because he knows what he did wrong and he knows how to fix it. Okay?
Exactly.
And because he did that, it may add something to that song. That James Brown. I like playing "Doing It to Death" all the time, right? And Maceo be singing, and James Brown will say, "Don't moan so much, don't moan so much." Okay, he was giving him a cue.
Yeah,
but it stayed in the song.
Yep, the one.
It stayed in the song. How? Because when he told him, he stayed in key. Don't moan so much, don't moan so much, and it just amazed.
You gonna make me
pick that up.
You gonna make me.
Huh?
You gonna make me go back to listen to James Brown tonight.
Listen to "Doing It to Death" right around the end. Maceo, and then James Brown holler at him, "Don't moan so much, don't moan so much," and then he'll back down. Okay, but it stayed in the song. They made it work.
Yeah,
they made it work.
Pocket.
Pocket. They made it work. So this is something you can't get out of a Macintosh. You can't get out of the baddest goddamn computer or the phone programmed on demand. You can't get that. You can't get that feel. You can get the swing. You maybe get the rhythm, but you can't get that thing. Okay, you can't get it. You can't computerize it. It's like you can clone a horse. You can clone an animal, a sheep, or whatever the case may be. But a sheep cannot reproduce itself once it's cloned.
Yeah, so that's going back to, just to repeat the question. Why do you think we should try to go back to the groups and try to rediversify the genre in black music?
Well, what's going to happen is we're going to have to start getting some hybrid music in here.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by it is you have to be more. It used to be that way back in the day, where Prince had a Linn drum. All Prince's drums were done with Linn drum. He would top it off with a live drum. So if you didn't know the Linn drum from his playing the hi-hat or whatever the case may be, you might not know that. But then he played live bass, and live guitar, and live keyboards. But he still had that mechanical syncopation on a lot of his songs. But he still added that feel to it that you couldn't tell he wasn't playing. It wasn't a drummer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Chris, you had what's your take on the question?
Well, I think it's a deeper scenario because I've been trying to put the bands together with these young people for a while, I just think it goes back to our society right now. I think it's much deeper than music. So without going into some social stuff, I think he's covered it. I just our history as black people, you know, we come from music. You know what I'm saying? We create music. We created a lot of these genres of music, everything from blues to jazz to rock and roll. I mean, so but we don't have that family stuff no more. So it's going to be hard to get. And he's right. I find cliques right now where I was at a clique I had two of my artists were performing. I didn't even know it. There was like a clique at a little, I'll say a cafe last Friday night. There was about 100 kids, young people. I didn't know nobody there. You know what I'm saying? Normally you go out and you kind of know somebody, but I was at a club. And I would say that the average age was about 17 to maybe 30. I didn't know nobody in there, but they were all in there grooving to these people singing. And I've been to a couple places where the bands were playing. So there are like niches of where he's talking about the music. It can be coming back. I just don't know if it's going to come back all the way without our whole, let's say, our culture coming together as more back into the family. We're so disjointed. I don't know if it's going to come together back into the bands like that. I just don't know.
You know what? As a hip hop expert, I got to say one thing. As I'm sitting here thinking about some of the artists that we've heard over the years, one of the reasons why people like Tupac so much, Tupac was a rapper, but Tupac had soul in his delivery. Hello?
Mm-hmm. I'm here.
Tupac has soul in his delivery. Okay, that's one thing about you. You didn't just hear Tupac, you felt Tupac. Okay, when Tupac did his lyrics, you could feel his passion. Okay, that made him an emotional. That made him give him an emotional connection, and people can feel just like you said. These kids say they can relate. Same thing with Tupac. People can relate to what he was saying because he made them. They just didn't hear him. They felt him. It makes a big difference as an artist. Makes a big difference.
Man, I'll be dropping the boy.
Something else I noticed in music, I might be wrong, but I don't hear storylines no more. You know, songs back in the day had strong storylines. They just the first thing that comes to their mind comes out of their mouth. And it don't make sense. And it's like, but we had storylines. And you had to listen to the whole song to really understand it, and everybody had their parts. And it feels so good, especially with the P-Funk music, when you can just hold your doggone microphone to the audience and the crowd sing your song. You ain't got to say nothing. That's some good stuff. Nowadays, I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
I don't
know what's going on.
Go ahead.
Lonnie, this Lonzo.
What's it?
Dig this, Lonnie.
Yeah.
Before I got cut off earlier, I was in a conversation this morning, and they have a big thing now where rappers' lyrics are being used in court to convict their ass.
Yeah.
So most of these guys are telling stories either they know of or maybe we're involved in. They get caught up, and them lyrics get used against them in court. So the stories they telling is testimonies.
And the part two, to address Mr. Green, I heard an old Ice Cube interview, and they were asking him why was his lyrics so heady and cerebral, and he mentioned that the fact that he was pretty good in English class kind of helped him to make his stuff more narrative and more structured.
Right.
So that was the thing so I think back in the time where Lonzo and everybody else in the 80s and 90s, they still had more of a serious English background in order for them to formulate, songs and rap lyrics. But now it's like, we got everything dummy down.
Hey Doc, how much more time we got? Because I got to leave in a minute.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up in a couple more questions.
Okay.
I'm gonna skip a few. Now, the one that I want to ask too is because we kind of touched on it. I want to say that. Well, this will be one last question here. What is your recommendation for young people who wants to stay clean while going into this music business today?
Well,
Learn to be true to yourself.
first and foremost, be true to yourself.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Zoe.
Be true to yourself and be prepared to take a longer route to success. Because if you take the shortcut, you're going to sell out like everybody else did. It's a thin line between selling out and buying in. Okay? Most of these guys are buying into the bullshit so they can sell out. Okay? You got guys now, guys and girls who are retroactively creating gang affiliations so they can try and be a part of something that the money and the fame that they've already acquired will take them away from. But for some reason, they feel they have to go back and get reassociated, reaffiliated, and get caught up in some shit that just usually takes their careers down the toilet. And I'll never understand that. Lonnie, you got it, baby.
You know, I think I know what you just said. I know the guy you're talking about. I won't say his name though, but it's like you have to be true to yourself, and you have to make a plan. You can't just jump into something butt naked. You got to make a plan. You got to ask questions, and if you really want to do it, like Lonzo said, you got to take the longer route. Learn about it. Go to school. Ain't nothing wrong with getting the education on it. Go around people that's already walked that path to you, because there's no shortcuts. Very few people get that break. It's record companies not searching the streets like they used to, picking up a talent off the corner. You know, social media didn't kill all of that, but you got to be true to yourself. Do a plan, have a plan, and stick with it. That's all I got to say.
You know what, Lonnie? I'm gonna say something else right quick. One of y'all was saying y'all like Cardi B.
And that was me, Chris. That was Chris.
One of the reasons why I don't care for Cardi B, I got 3 daughters. Okay, Cardi's claim to fame came up on the poll. Robbing cat, sucking dick, being a prostitute. And I tell people all the time, yeah, she got the bag now, but what road of success she took you would recommend for your daughter? If you saw your daughter in the early stage of her career trying to follow Cardi B's road to success, how would you feel watching her go through this? Because the one thing about it is, just because she do it don't mean she gonna get it. Okay? So
exactly.
I totally agree with you on that. I was getting to the relatability, but I totally agree with you on that. Okay. Being a father too, I totally agree.
Now it's the same. It goes back to the same thing. You know, a lot of guys think you got to sell dope, be a gangbanger, but the case may be to be put on to be accepted, and that's the biggest lie ever told. Okay, but in the meantime, you got guys that feel they have to be associated, affiliated, or something to another to be respected, and get themselves caught up and never see a microphone again. Next time they see a microphone, they take it out of a nigga's pants.
Yeah. And brother Chris, did you want to address the question? What should an up and coming artist do in the business while trying to stay clean? Is he thinking?
His mic's on mute.
His mic is on mute. He had to unmute himself.
I see a picture of his mic and it got the line on it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. The whole thing is this. I totally agree with them. There are no shortcuts. I tell these kids that all the time. You got to put the time in it. You got to study. You gotta look at your competition. You gotta have. They hit it all on the points. You got to study. You got to study. You know,
yes, you do.
There's just no shortcuts. There's just no shortcuts. It's simple as that. You got to put the time in it. You got to put the work in there. And if you're steadfast enough, if you're determined enough, you'll get in the right place at the right time. But that right time might only happen one time, and you better be ready when that opening happens. That's all. I mean, it's just put the time in it.
Okay.
You're right. The door of opportunity It doesn't. The door never flings wide open. It cracks open. It's very small, and people try to rush into that door opportunity as quick as they can because it closes very quick. But like I said, you know, we all on the same page here. You got to put in your work. You got to believe in yourself more than anybody else, because nobody wants to work with somebody who's not sure about themselves. But I'm not talking about being cocky, walking around like you got everything. No, that's not it. You got to be confident in yourself and put in the work, because you will get paid for your work. Might take a lot longer, but eventually, if it's meant for you, it's going to happen. And the main thing, music business ain't meant for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Period. It ain't meant for everybody.
Yeah, so
All right, folks.
I got a question in the chat. If we got a little time, there's a person named Adrian Anastasia. Have the brother Lonzo Williams saw that video? Glasses Malone drip yesterday called Tupac Must Die, and what are his opinions on it being a West Coast pioneer?
You know what? I saw the link. I didn't look at the video yet though. I saw the link pop. I get notifications from Glad, but I didn't see it yet. So no, I can't comment on that one just yet. The fact that Tupac Must Die, that just kind of shook me. I've heard it. I kind of turned me off right there.
Okay, and we have a man. So I want, but hopefully, I mean, we have enough time for you guys to let us know, you know, anything about your projects or products, you know, so that we can, you know, get people to support what you're doing, you know, that kind of thing. Oh, somebody sent me another one. Have you worked with Kendrick Lamar?
No, I haven't, man. Not at all. I bet him. We haven't never worked together.
Okay. Yeah, he used to hang in my class, but he wasn't my student. Yes. So you know, let us know what you guys are doing before you leave. Some places where, you know, we might have to go see you or support you. So who wants to go first now?
I'm pushing my YouTube channel right now. I'm trying to get to my first 1,000 viewers. So check out my YouTube channel, Lonzo Williams on YouTube. I got my website, LonzoWilliams.com, and shit. That's me. That's where you find me. Check out my book on Amazon, my website, all the above. My book is called NWA, Not Without Alonzo.
Go ahead on.
I still laugh with that.
For me, you can look at Stars. This is our Instagram. It's Stars Worldwide, at Stars Worldwide. And so Stars with the S Worldwide. Our website is Stars Worldwide at starsworldwide.org. Stars Worldwide, and our YouTube channel is Stars Worldwide as well. So everything's under Stars Worldwide. So we're always looking for talented youth, especially 11 to 22. So if you know any kids, especially singers, I'm really looking for singers. Let us know.
Okay, Brother Green.
Well, for me, I'm in Detroit working with a hip hop artist named Tony Green. He's the one to put all them bass lines on for Snoop Dogg and stuff. Snoop just left here. And, you know, he does his G-Funk thing. So our thing is G-Funk meets P-Funk. You can check us out on Facebook. Go to Facebook, type in Hyped Up Live Sessions. We come on at Eastern Time, 9 o'clock, Saturday night, Highland Park Music Festival. It'll be shown all over the world. This would be Hyped Up. They have one show a month, so this would be like the 16th show. T-Money Green, he's doing pretty good on it, and we're affiliated with that. P-Funk Outlaws, just keep looking at the counts of things, because also, Lonzo, I'll be back in Anaheim. They're working on some kind of show for me at the Disneyland place. That's
Okay.
I don't know. This agent contacted me from New York, and T-Money Green is coming to me. So, you know, he brings Snoop and all them with him. So, you know, I'm going to let you know. Because it's P-Funk and G-Funk.
Okay.
So, that's it.
All right, Doc.
Okay.
I'm out, folks.
Okay, so we got a couple more things in the chat. I'm gonna read.
What you got?
Yeah, it's a brother named. He's a very well-known YouTuber named The Grinch God. First, he says, "What's going on?" So this for Zoe Williams. Probably is listening. He said I got a book out. I think you will like the call. It's called Ratchet Rouge. It's on Amazon. He also said y'all check out my book, The Ratchet Rouge. I think y'all will enjoy it. Let me know what your your thoughts. And he also said that
Ratchet
I'm going to go check
rule.
out Not Without Lonzo. So yeah, I mean, yeah, this brother right here, they call him the Grinch God. I mean, very, very talented, brilliant mind, whatever, with a lot of energy. So I recommend that you guys get his book. It's on Amazon. I'll probably be able to pass the word on to Zoe because it probably go in this category because it's trust me, you would get a kick out of it. But
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, up and coming brother. That's why I'm pushing him because I helped him out. Wink, wink. So I'll try to plug all the people I'm helping out, man. So, but anyhow,
Okay.
I appreciate Cocaine Kales, my favorite Scorpio. She was always in the background, putting things in and getting my attention for the chat or what have you. I appreciate all you brothers coming through. That mean a lot to me. Sorry to have Zoe Williams. He had to go because he had a production that he had to take care of. Um, at 6:30. So. But the main thing, man, I hope you guys. Hope we be able to meet again because there's a lot of things you guys put out that we need to revisit. Uh,
Okay.
I really hope that this is a learning tool from our young because a lot of young people really want to get into music, but they always going in the wrong way. And I know you see it, and you've been there, done that. So I definitely want to push what you guys are doing too, whether it's a concert, whether it's some kind of agency, whatever you're doing. We need to get that word out. So I really appreciate everybody coming through. Sorry that we went kind of long or whatever, but I just started in April, so I'm trying to get it right. So you guys
Okay.
have any last words or anything?
All I can say is thank you. Thank you, man. I enjoyed this. I like positive things where people are putting in positive inputs on things. It makes you think. So it is a world out there, and people are trying to do the right thing, man. And Cleve, you're doing the right thing, man. Thank you for this.
Yeah, because I really want. I mean, my whole thing, man, is you guys are legends. I mean, I don't see why people just. I don't know, man. When you just throw these names out there, I know you guys are talented in your own right, but when you're considering part of the legacy that was left behind, along with because you guys had to share the stage with other greats yourself, and I'm quite
Yeah,
sure you had to come with it. They didn't say, "Come on the stage, you look good." You had to come with it back then. So I'm like,
yeah,
when you throw them names out there, I'm like, oh man, I talk to you. I mean, you know how it is. I'll be on the phone with you guys for hours. So,
yeah, man. I mean, it's a good thing. Me and some of the guys here in Detroit was talking about jam sessions. I don't enjoy jam sessions anymore because it's not like it was when I was very young. When I was a little guy, I used to watch the grown men. I don't know what kind of music they were playing, but you just got in where you fit in, and that's how Hit Records was made then. And it's like you can see a musician's creativity.
Yeah.
Nowadays, no matter where you go in America, a jam session is a musician that went home and learned his three favorite songs and come to a jam session, and it's like, now it's my turn to shine. There's no camaraderie in the music no more. There's no musicianship in the music. You got guys at a jam session trying to direct a jam session, telling people what to play, taking their freedom of music out of it, and I just don't go anymore. I mean, it's boring and it's a waste of my time.
well,
But
you
I
have a
know it can. Huh? Go ahead.
go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, but I just wish the musicians would come back. Like just get together and talk and play music, not a song by George Clinton, Rick James. No, just bass player take off, drummer following. Everybody just, let the music take your mind, like Cool in the Gang used to say. Let the music
Hmm.
take your mind.
Hmm.
And I'm still on that level. And all my bands, and I've got a couple of P-Funk Outlaw bands, I demand that they do that. And it makes you better musicians, and you learn how to communicate with other musicians. Nowadays, I know it's out there, but I just haven't ran into it yet. So I'm done.
Okay, because you got like I just mentioned Grinch. We call him Grinch, but he's the Grinch God P, and he plays guitar. He really plays guitar. And this is just when he's listening to this kind of stuff, I'm quite sure he's picking it up right now. That's what I'm saying. It's like you got a lot of people that got this music potential, but since everybody want to be a rapper, you know, it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and rap in the shower and stuff like that. But at the same time, after hearing you guys say the things you said, I'm quite sure that, they may be more apt to pick up an instrument. And I've been pushing that. I play four myself. You already heard that. And the songs that were played before, I played those live. Those are my songs, so I can't get flagged. So at the same time, so just to remind people, because Kales told me, to remind people that we're sitting here with Lonnie Green. He was part of the P-Funk All-Stars, Parliament, Funkadelic. He had his own group. He did. He plays several. Different instruments. I think he was. You were like a child prodigy back then, right? You were like a real young dude playing a lot of.
I don't. You know what? I didn't take it serious. I don't know, because it was something like I felt I had to do. I never wanted to play a trumpet, but I've always wanted to play drums, and nobody never taught me to play drums. And I sat down on my first drum set at 10 years old in Houston, Texas, in Montgomery Ward, and played the hell out of them drums. And had a crowd of white people around me. And my great grandmother tore my butt up because I was on the drums.
Montgomery Ward.
That was something you didn't do back then in Texas. It was kind of deep. And when I went to Grambling, I'm a brass man.
Okay.
Anything brass, that's me.
Yeah.
But all the other instruments, nobody taught me. It's just in me. I just pick it up and play it.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, I ain't good on none of them. I ain't good on none of that stuff. But I can play my music.
Yeah. And I want to get to Brother Chris Powell. He had a long, diverse past, and matter of fact, he pretty much had the standard upbringing of the Funk Foundation. So that's the thing where you're going into the things in Ohio background, but he wind up, work with Rick James and things like that. But the Stone City Band, and had his own things, and now he's trying to give back and bring up and coming talent today. He got some people on The Voice and other things. So I'm just saying it quick because I know everybody needs to leave, but these are things that I took in and I find it very valuable. I'm just in awe when I talk to you guys. It's like, you got these new cats or whatever saying whatever, but I rather hang out with you guys. I'm just being real. It's like, because whatever you guys going to say, it's going to make me greater. You know what I mean? So, I really appreciate. Oh, and you want to say something, Brother Chris?
Oh, I was just gonna say I appreciate your time, and I got to get with the young man that had the other nonprofit. So I don't want to do it tonight because I'm really wore out, y'all. But I definitely want to get with him and talk, see what he's doing, and see what synergy we got between both programs. We may be able to do something together.
Well, are you willing to come back and do like another hangout like this?
Well, let's hook me up with him so we can talk direct. Right now, I need to chill, man.
I'm talking about like later on in the future, like.
I'm always willing. I definitely want to talk to him and just talk to him about what he's doing with the young people. And Cleve, I got something else I got to talk to you about too. So
I'm game. I'm always around.
Our some of our original conversations.
Okay,
they're back.
I'll take care of that.
They're back.
I'll take care of that. But I'm gonna send you Lonzo's info, and he'll be glad to work with you because he's been hard. That's how I met him. He was doing stuff for teenagers.
Gotcha.
Matter of fact, I met him when Bill Cosby came out to Compton High, so we hooked up from there. So yeah, I really appreciate you brothers here. Like I said, it meant a lot for me, for you guys. Everybody showed up. I feel like I've been touched by Jedi's, you know. I'm glowing. I got my lifesaver about to slay some people. So anyhow, I appreciate you guys for coming. I appreciate people in the chat out there that stuck with me, because I know there's a lot of drama going on YouTube, and they could have been over there. They probably going back and forth. But hey, thank you for coming to the kids hangout. And we're gonna do something else tomorrow. Oh, announcements. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing an all sorority panel. So that's gonna be fun. Okay. They got a lot of stuff to share with you guys. Yeah, we got Deltas, aka Zetas, SG Rolls. So it might be like 8 of them, and a few more comedians.
Wow.
So we gonna get down tomorrow. So
Wow.
I didn't play it.
oh yeah.
I didn't play it. You know, so I hate I did now. I wish I would have then, but
Hey, George
I
Clinton
didn't play it.
George Clinton came to Omega Sci-Fi Conclave out here in LA in '96. I brought him out here. So I know his well, I met his daughter and everything. What's her name? Cynthia, and the wife. So
He got so only daughter I know of George is Barbarella. And I've been on.
Cynthia has his face. It's kind of weird. She got his face.
I don't know her.
I'm like,
I just know Barbarella. And because her, I know her and her mother, but
yeah, the daughter and the mom was, because I was faxing them, you know, because they was giving us the price and everything, and she said, "Take care." The mom said, "Take care of my husband." I said, "All right, okay," but it was cool. But well, I mean, thank you, brothers, for coming through. I'm going to end the stream, and you know, we're gonna do something again later and try to fill it out so that everybody can have some fun. I mean, I had fun tonight, so I appreciate you guys coming.
Okay, I enjoyed it myself. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice
so y'all
meeting you, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, nice meeting you finally. And Cleveland, I'll talk to you. I'll give you a call tomorrow or over the weekend, and we'll hook up. Ironically, my kids are opening up for something. Well, I got 3 artists opening up for Lakeside this weekend in Akron. So it's funny. I was mentioning Hank Shockley and all of them. So they're opening up. The kids are opening up for some of the old school people up in Akron this weekend.
Man, I'm ear to ear every time y'all talk about this stuff. I'm like, wow, you guys it's regular to y'all, but I'm like, dang, the Funk Legends talking about. But anyhow, it's all good. So anyhow, so you guys be good. Get you some sleep, because I know y'all have East Coast time. So I'm still enjoy this sun over here in the West Coast. You know, not the.
Good. Well, it was too hot for the sun over here today. It was crazy hot, man.
Okay, you guys. So y'all take care, right? So I'll be in touch.
All right, man.
I'll call y'all about.
Nice meeting y'all. Nice meeting y'all. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you again. Bye bye.